Blitz and Twitch. International Master William Paschall. We are back live, streaming from the United States. Surprisingly, we are going to be streaming Blitz and Rapid Chess for today. The schedule remains open. I think by next week, I should get something worked out to have a kind of regular schedule going again. But I promised you guys I would stream here today, Friday. It's 1 p.m. Eastern Time here in the United States. My acoustics are a little different. We might move the stream to a different location. I'm not in the bathroom. Does this look like a bathroom? This is not a bathroom. All right, this is a different location here. All right, back home. What's up? What's up, everybody? This may be a temporary location. I have my wiki tiki in the other room, but I wanted to try it here. I was kind of pressed for time. So here we are. It looks like the stream is up and running. Yeah, let's see. Someone is asking me, can I follow what you're doing on lichess right now? If so, what do I look for? Log into lichess and then follow on Twitch. Or you don't have to even be logged on. Yeah. My account on Twitch is Sladgie. That's my name. So if you guys don't know, you can follow me just on Twitch. Or you can just follow on Twitch. That's what I'm saying. You don't even have to be on lichess to watch, obviously. No ambulances here. I look giant in a little house. I think that's just the perspective of that's just the perspective of my laptop, I guess, at a weird angle here. But I like it. I've got my little trophy of the US Amateur Team Championship in the back there. So we're going to be playing something between 5+3 and 7+3 Blitz. Guys, I got challenges here. It looks like the audio, everything's okay. We don't have our ambulances from Hungary, so that's good. There's lots of landscapers here, but the windows are closed because it's extremely cold. It was like summer in Budapest before I left, and here in Massachusetts it's quite cold. Although the Red Sox game yesterday in Boston was 70+ degrees, where I'm at it feels like it's about 50 degrees Fahrenheit. I've got challenges from some of our subscribers: Tushar Kamde, Pavel Nefyadov, PQL. I'm going to take the subscribers first. Clash Kid, thanks for subscribing again on lichess, or rather Twitch, for I think 11 months it said. So let's get started with the game. I really want to thank you guys for being faithful, and we're going to get back to business here. So Tushar Kamde, tough customer for our first game. I look like I got some lag. Got some lag picking up. Wow, I got 387. Don't know where that came from. Let me check. This is my first stream back since last September from the United States. So let me just make sure we're good to go. Long winter last in Massachusetts. It's long. It's not like Budapest. Budapest is warm. Budapest is very warm. It's like, I would call it almost Mediterranean. It's funny. But here in Massachusetts, it's still winter in May. It feels like sometimes where I'm at. It's actually, this is really strange, but I don't understand how world weather works. But Massachusetts is actually further south than Budapest, and I don't know how that's possible. And I never used to think that, but it is. Tushar Kende just played h5 against me. This is kind of a wild move. I'm gonna play the pawn stop with h4. I'm not a big fan of, but that's perfectly playable. Slightly weakening the g4 square. So yeah, temperatures here are very, very dangerous. It can get quite cold even in May. You get snow in April, for example. And Budapest was like baking summer hot. I had to have the fan on, if you guys remember, before I left. We're going to turn this into an English opening. h5, really radical move. We could actually reach this by an English opening move order. The Serbian Grandmaster, what's his name now? There's a very strong young Serbian Grandmaster rated 2600. His name is eluding me. He had a game against our Hungarian Zoltan Medved in a tournament I played in December. It was like c4, e5, g3, h5. This is something that could actually transpose from that. So, c takes e5. I guess black could play gambit style with like c6 there. Looks kind of fishy, but why not? h5 radical approach, but it's playable. I think it's not really correct, but my reaction is not necessarily best. You know, actually, instead of h3, if I had some more time to think about this, I probably would have elected, I might have elected to play like knight f3 and just stop h4 without weakening my king side. So now he plays c6. Probably I want to put pressure on his center here with knight f3. This also helps to stop h4. It keeps the ability to play d4. And that's something like that's key in the accelerated dragon, which this position is a reversed version of. Let me follow the stream here. So, move 3 out of book. h5, yeah, I mean, could be a transposition, possibly. It's some kind of Twilight Zone. Clash Kid is the #1 sub. Who said that? Who is that? I can't see. Take Back. What's up, I Take Back? Thanks, Soltiga, for being here. Alexander Indich. Thank you, man. Asterbait, how did you figure that out so quickly? You guys are awesome researchers. So the guy I was trying to remember was Alexander Indich. That's the game against Medved that I was referring to. All right, so here we go. I'm going to go for it with a central break with d4. I'm not sure if this is best or not. He might have some funky stuff he can do. And maybe I'm releasing the tension too early here. I don't know. Fundamentally, it's a good thing to play for d4 like an accelerated dragon. But what else can I do? Quietly castling. Anyway, guys, it's just great to be back. This acoustics here are probably not the best, so I might elect to do the streams from my old location where I used to do more streams. But this is an interesting move, bishop e4, probably best. Okay, I can play bishop d2 though, there's no problem. It would rob my knight of a retreat square at d2. But I don't think that's an issue here. I hope it's not an issue here. Maybe it is. Yeah, it's probably a minor issue. But if he tries something like bishop takes c3, b takes c, e4, I can even play knight h2, knight f1. Actually, I have tons of options. Knight h4. Knight h4. Just watch out for g5. That's a kind of funny line. Bishop takes c3, b takes c. Right now, I think on Twitch, someone asked how many people are watching. We have... let me refresh the page. I can tell you guys. If I refresh my page, I should be able to tell you guys. He did play bishop takes c3. I sound like Porky Pig. So we've got 22 viewers right now. It looks like 22 viewers at the moment. I've got quite a bit of lag, which I don't like to have. But let's see how it's at. What we've got for lag is pretty high, 195, 188. This is on a landline too. I'm not on the Wi-Fi, so Wi-Fi if you're European. I don't know if it might be better or worse, depending if it's on Wi-Fi or not. But anyway, like I was talking about one variation here, e4, knight g5, e3. That's basically the only trap I can fall for. Kind of nasty variation. Normally I would put my knight on g5, but that's not on right now. So let's see. Thinking maybe knight h4. We risk knight h4. You may wonder why I want to put my knight on h4. We're attacking e4. I've got the f5 square. I want my knight to sometimes retreat back to g2. How is that going to happen? I don't know. It's a weird position. It's just a weird position. If he plays knight f6, maybe I can play like queen c1 and just control this diagonal, make sure no g5 happens, and just kind of maintain the position. But I also have c4 actually. If knight df6, even c4 can happen. Black's position is maybe weirder than white's position. I don't know. I don't play games like this every day. This is a very strange opening. Yeah, if you refresh on Twitch, it usually shows you how many people are viewing the stream. All right, we've got fourth round of Summer Chess Classic in St. Louis is starting in 45 minutes. Oh, Alexander Indich is playing in the A group. I did not follow the St. Louis thing. Indich was just playing in a tournament in December. He's kind of a maniac. Really, really crazy player. I heard that his coach is actually Velimirovich. So he's, you know, trained by a maniac himself. We will be having a Sunday simul this week. That will be my next stream. Time I have to determine tonight. We'll see how the stream goes, and I'll let you guys know about the time for the Sunday stream. We're gonna get to a regular schedule, I promise, but I want to see what works best. So he goes totally speculative here. I think this has got to be bad for black. I just don't know. Pawn takes, and then why can't I just play like queen g5, king f2? I mean, he's probably looking for pawn takes pawn, queen g5, e4, queen takes g3, which is actually probably kind of unclear. But I don't want to jeopardize my king's safety. I also have bishop takes c3, e3, which is probably not that bad. So we need to make a judgment about, is this bishop going to become bad? If that's the case, I might want to take with the bishop on e3. If it's not going to become a problem, then we can take with the pawn, queen g5, king f2, artificially castle. It looks good. I'm just going to go full Pavel Blatny here and put my king on f2. I had a game in a tournament in Bermuda like 15 years ago where I think I played black and Blatny had to put his king on f2 in a situation like this. This I didn't foresee. I was looking only at queen g5. But I don't think it dramatically changes the situation. I mean, it may in fact be less accurate for black. I mean, maybe it doesn't make a difference, but here, okay, I could always castle. Okay, castles, queen takes g3, and I like my position. We can play knight f5 or even queen e1, and I think that white is better in this position. Actually, queen takes g3, queen e1 is, I don't know what I said, knight e1? Queen e1 looks quite strong. I never thought I'd be castling kingside here. Queen e1 is the plan. Okay, there are possible variations I've missed. I really like my position. I really like this central mass I have. It's deadly. Once that starts rolling, it's going to be very, very dangerous for black. He just traded into this ending. I didn't really expect him to want to trade. So I'm a little bit paranoid that I missed something. But my central majority, or whatever you want to call it, predominance of pawns is extremely, extremely strong here. But he has this very strong response. Okay. Well, basically he has knight c4 now, I guess, if you're going to be calculating. That's the only move for black, which I missed originally. But it may be very, very dangerous for black. Like knight c4, pawn takes knight, knight takes bishop, pawn takes c6, threatening pawn takes b7. That's one nasty possibility. And otherwise, I just take on d5, he takes on d2, I move my rook somewhere. Our development is pretty good. Our development is complete. You know, black's development is not complete. So that seems to me like a very important factor. Now we just roll. Troll on a roll. Where is Troll on a roll? What time is it in Russia? We got some regulars, guys. My problem is I only have one monitor. He survived the Bermuda Triangle. All right. Where am I? So let me move this over. We're getting very low on time, guys. 2 minutes to 1 minute and 40. But the central pawn mass, if you will, looks extremely strong. This is your last chance for knight c4. No, I'm just kidding. He can play it whenever he wants. He can go back to e7, back to c7. I like white, though. I mean, white's center is just unbelievable here. I mean, this is just the dream center. He just took and we undouble, I guess. Two bishops, equal material, but a very strong pawn mass. Still, it's not so easy. He's got a very solid blockade on d5 and c4. It's a bit awkward. I'm playing rook f3 to guard this. Then I can retreat the bishop, or even, yeah, I'm going to bring it back to c1. Tricky position. Unfortunately, I didn't have bishop f1 available. That would have been ideal. Now his knights have good squares. I'm playing Chigorin, it looks like. Now, I still like white here, but he has achieved something pretty significant. I mean, he's got his knights on great blockading squares. So, it may be the case that black is okay. I feel my gut instinct is that this should not have been okay, but maybe I let it slip a little bit. We let the position just slightly slip. Our advantage slipped. I played h4. There's a reason for that. Several reasons. Oh, man, g6 is kind of crazy. I don't know if I like g6 for black. Maybe I should have taken. It's kind of hard to call. I always have bishop g5. Wow, rook f7 check. There's nothing immediate. I guess first off, we should just make sure he can't contest the f-file. That seems like a solid plan. We have a protected passed pawn. I mean, this just has to be good for white. But I'm not checkmating anybody. The knights remain really good blockaders. So it's pretty tough to make progress, actually, right here, right about now. I'm going to go back. My bishops haven't quite tied up, but I need to watch out. Look at this guy. Don't know how to make progress exactly. E6 obviously could happen. Not a lot of time. This is a very long game. I mean, going over 15 minutes now. I don't know if he should retreat that. The knight on c4 was kind of an important key cog in black's position. Now we go the bishop back, maybe? That's too passive. Wow, what a blockade. This is very awkward and difficult. I could play rook g8, but he stopped me. Excellent defensive attempts here. Two bishops against two knights are always really weird and tricky to play. Now he's basically sacrificing a pawn. Okay, now what do we do? He's got a rook check. I can move my king up. That looks good. Maybe I should have played king f2. Maybe this was a stupid move. Not really sure. He's not getting in. Now we have a very strong passed pawn. My king's coming up to like h4. If I pick off that h pawn, I mean, I think this is over. I have two extremely strong passed pawns. And between the two of those, I should definitely be winning. Yeah, this is a killer. I don't want to allow too much counterplay. You can try to shut him down, not giving him counterplay over there. Just 2 pawns up. I think we got him. Now just g7 and g8. There's no way to stop it. Man, that was an epic game. That was the first game. The first game I played. How's the stream looking? Are we good? Let's take a break for a minute, guys. And, wow. Tricky nights. Yeah, this was a very hard position to play. But just let me know if the stream looks okay. I need some feedback. How the sound is. I got the same microphone, but I don't think the acoustics are quite as good here. Your internet is close to dying. Got 36 viewers. Not a bad start. Ajumoko said you are good. Thank you, guys. Clash Kid, thanks for resubscribing. Thanks, everybody, for resubscribing. Or subscribing in the first place. We've got lots of friends here. Regular subscribers and viewers. It isn't a fixed time yet. What time we're gonna be doing this. But Sunday, we're going to do a simul. And I will post the time, USA Eastern time, in the next few hours after the stream, so you guys know. Okay, the stream and sound are good. Good enough for now. I want to try to make it better, but this is my first stream back. Let's check we got a lot of challenges. I want to play with subscribers first off, and then we'll take some guests and whatnot as we move down the line. Nefyudov is next, 5+2. Good game, Tushar, man. You played really, really solid chess. Okay, my internet here in the US, notoriously not as good as Hungarian internet in the past, but my lag is up and down. I've got about a 97 ping now. That doesn't look too bad. So Nefyudov, actually, let's try something different against him. I've been playing a number of games with him in kind of like Fianchetto King's Indian positions. Now I decided to throw him a curveball by playing this, I don't know what you call it, like a kind of Queen's Indian. I would call this a Queen's Indian attack or Queen's Indian in reverse. And now we can go revert back to some kind of double Fianchetto if you like. This isn't like a standard opening for me. I'm just kind of having fun. It's not a usual location for my stream, so I'm trying to get a comfortable position here as we move forward. All right, so Queen's Indian reversed, double Fianchetto system. I can play it like a Grunfeld now after d4, but my concern is if I play d4, I may have waited too long. I may have waited too long for that, so we can play knight e5 at some moment. e3 is fine. Magnus Carlsen played like this against me with colors reversed in our one game. Actually, I also had a game with Grandmaster Romanov. Tried to do a kind of like double Fianchetto Queen's Indian against me. First time I played this position ever in my life with white. But it really is nothing more than a Queen's Indian. So what do we got in the stream? Tushar Kemde said, you're an extremely bad player. Okay, I'm sure that I'm one too, according to Stockfish. Don't worry about it. Too sharp cam day. The more complicated the position, obviously, the harder it is to play with a low centipon loss. So guys, simul stream on Sunday. This was an unusual move here by Nefedov. That looks extremely passive. So if we played according to normal Queen's Indian strategy, I mean, I think that probably the engine would prefer to like take and play something like a Arkle variation, where you do you do like trade all the pieces. Knight takes e5, bishop takes e5, knight e8, and then try to beat the guy in the endgame. Keith Arkle. All right, knight takes c6. We at least double his pawns. We play like Nimzovich style, featuring the doubled pawns, but okay. It's not a standard Queen's Indian. I mean, my bishop is on g2. What I'd like to do is fix the doubled pawns and make them targets. But again, this is not really a standard situation. Let's see. Black's threatening e5 to kind of have a strong center. I'm not really sure. This is a faster game, though. I have to make the adjustment. That gets hard, adjusting to the different time controls. What do I want to do with this? All right, you can undouble your pawns. Controversial decision here to play d4. I don't know, just kind of instinctive to put my pawns on the right color, but I am allowing him to undouble his pawns. I just don't feel like I had exactly the right situation for that standard kind of play with c4 and whatnot, you know, like you do in a Nimzo. With the fianchetto over here, I have a lot of weaknesses. I don't have the bishop on e2, so I just did this. It looks kind of equal, obviously. It's a faster game, guys. McIntyre. Who's McIntyre? I had a friend named McIntyre, but he seems McIntyre. All right. What are we doing here? Knight c3. Try to get our pieces to good squares. Get developed. Like, since I've been teaching chess full time over the last couple of years again, since I'm retired from playing poker, I've been really focusing on teaching people according to principles, and I think that we can become quite strong players if we just really pay close attention to the principles of the game. Obviously, you have to have a certain amount of calculation and tactical ability, but if you really strictly adhere to principle play, I think you can get quite far in chess, and I try to recommend and teach that here in the streams, guys. 5 + 2. Queen a5 is an interesting move. Didn't anybody ever tell you that it's bad to bring your queen out early? I don't know. There are exceptions to every rule, right? I was headed for a4 anyway, so we're looking for the blockading square. Very Nimzovichian. If you attack my rook, I'm just going to go here. That's where I'm headed anyway. Structurally, a little easier for white to play here. Queen a5. Is it out of play or is it in a good position? My last student my last lesson, we actually talked about this. Queen on a5. Is it? That's the question. Good or bad? Is that an active queen or a queen that's away from the center and out of position? Not easy to answer, and that's why chess is a difficult game. Because there's so many competing ideas. All right, Mr. Mr. Rook e1 may have been a little too automatic, but I'm not claiming that white has an advantage here. I just think that the structure is a tiny bit easier to play for white than for black. So if I play knight c5, I give him access to my position. There's also the possibility this will come in at any moment. I don't know. I don't like the queen getting in here. Handle with care. Handle the position with care. That's all we can do. I'm very alert to usually to people's counterplay. I try to pride myself on being a good overall player, but I'm especially sort of good at defense and preventing the opponent to do things. So this is like prophylactic play. H3. I don't know. H5 looks kind of reactionary. All right, I wanted to go rook e3, and this is why I played h3. This is the deep idea, is that he doesn't have the g4 square. So the plan is to put my rook on e3. I can play queen e1, kick him off. I can't play queen e1 though because my pawn is hanging. That's a bit of a problem. All right, then we'll have to play queen e2 and think about other possibilities. It looks like he's trying to think about some sort of weird tactics, perhaps. He's trying to get tactical on me. H4. H4, G4. What's he going to do? Like sack a piece? I don't see it. I don't quite see it. I want to mobilize all the pieces. My knight is waiting to join the party. We don't want to leave him out there on a limb too long. But I also don't want to leave any of my pieces out. You want all the pieces to play. H3 was an important cog in the prophylactic plan, not to allow knight g4. I'm a little concerned though. You know, he can play knight e4, and if he plays knight e4, I might have to bail and play something like knight c3. And there I might be microscopically better, like knight e4, knight c3, knight takes c3, rook takes c3. Maybe just microscopically better for white. I can probably beat Nefedov based on time, but the position is not clear that I'm truly better here. I think that it's easier, as I said, a little easier to play maybe for white. What's up, guys? Do you guys know any apps to earn money via PayPal? Okay. I lost my web page here. Okay, so knight e4. Yeah, this is what I was just talking about. That's got to go. But if I give up my white squared bishop, I'm going to be really, really sorry. So I think this is forced. I have to play this. Knight back to c3. I mean, it could have been possible to play knight c5, but that was kind of weird. So here we are. Tartakover. Capablanca Tartakover. He dropped a pawn, or is it just a trick? It's a trick. Alright, he's possibly dropping a pawn here, but I'm still not sold if this is 100% clear. He lost on time. I mean, I guess he could play bishop takes h3. Let's see what the computer says just in the final position. Yeah, I'm better now. Looks like he did drop a pawn. So the time pressure kind of did Nefedov in. Alright guys, let's go on to the next. Let me set up this a little bit differently. I've got to get my Twitch page around so I can see it while I'm streaming. Because I got just the one machine here. Where is my Twitch page? There it is. Twitch page, what's up guys? Side of the board where pieces rest after taken out of play. What? Did somebody hang a piece? Who is my chess teacher? Well, my chess teacher was my best friend. We taught each other how to play chess. We learned the hard way. I never really had like a teacher. The only teachers I ever had were kind of informally teachers, except when I was already like a FIDE master, I had kind of help from Roman Djigiashvili, but it's just not that much. You know, he was helping me learn some openings and stuff. I never really had a teacher before I was a master. I just worked my way up, and I have many teachers, you know. The School of Hard Knocks is my teacher. Alright guys, thanks for watching, thanks for subscribing. We got 37 viewers. Times are TBA for future streams. I'm going to be streaming on Sunday, doing a simul stream. I got just one inaccuracy. It was a solid game. There, nice and positional, like safe, the way I like to play now that I'm a dinosaur. Okay, PQLLED is a subscriber, right? PQLED did subscribe, so he's a subscriber. I want to play all you guys who are subscribers as usual first. The Clash Kid would be next, and he resubscribed recently. My voice is kind of like not used to talking. I haven't been making any videos or streaming for like a week, so. Alright, PQ. E4. For those of you who don't know, I'm streaming from the United States. I've been in Hungary for like the last 7 months, but we are back in the US of A. Streaming Eastern Time. I'm going to post the streams Eastern Time. Eastern Daylight Time, we call it here. Okay, so E4. I don't know. Let's try a Caro-Kann. I don't want to play this against our friend, Mr. Derndach. He's been killing my Caro-Kann. Okay. Main variation. We got 7 minutes. It's a nice long game, guys. In the past, I did Fast Friday, but I thought since I haven't streamed in a while, we'd just do a general blitz and rapid stream with different time controls. And, you know, I may return to doing a faster streams on faster blitz only on Fridays, but for the first stream back, we're just going to make it the usual option. You guys can challenge me anytime between 5+3 and 7+3. I like to play the longer games. 7+3 is the maximum. The minimum is 5+3. You can invent a time control in between that, between 5, 6, 7 minutes, 3 seconds, 5 seconds increment, whatever you want. 5+5, 6+5. What do you like? So, okay, PQ didn't play H4. We'll just stop his 95. I'm not that knowledgeable in the theory of this line, because when I used to play the Caro-Kann, I always played the knight to d7 and knight f6 variations. I played the Bronstein-Larsen with g takes f, and sometimes the so-called Karpov variation with knight d7. But the bishop f5 variation is something that I'm trying to incorporate into my repertoire, because it is the best move for black, you know, for bishop f5. It's, well, possibly knight f6 and knight takes f6, e takes f6 is good. I have seen some recent games with that. This is a very strange move, bishop e3. The obvious reason for bishop e3 would be to clamp down on the c5 breaks, but that's never played this early, so I'm not sure I quite understand what bishop e3 is about. It's just a move, basically. I don't know if it's part of some crafty system that I've never seen before, but an unusual move. Okay, he didn't play h4 either, but there are many lines like that. Like, I mean, bishop d3 was played by Spassky, for example. You don't have to play h4. You know, you can play without h4, but bishop d3 is almost universal. Sometimes you see c3. I think that's an actual line. I suppose that this might be a variation. What is up, guys? It's good to be back. Can you guys earn money via PayPal? What is up? I still remember my first win against me in a g takes f Caro-Kann. I played bishop h6. That was your first win. I remember the game now. I didn't know that was your first win. H4 is theory and good. Yeah, the other lines are just safe lines, like Spassky Karpov. I mean, Spassky, after he lost the world championship, he became kind of gun shy, I think, and I don't know. You know, he wasn't the same after that, but he just kind of like was happy with the draw against Karpov, for example. So he's like, what, trying to castle queenside here? That's pretty nutty. Semi-nutty. Black does get some queenside play. But I was thinking maybe we can try a5, a4, a3. This looks like an artificial move. I don't want to play something silly like queen b6. We'll just make natural moves. But we need a plan about where to put my king. And I'm going to castle kingside, going to castle queenside. Now, after h4, I mean, we actually have several options. But, I mean, it seems normal to play h6. And this will most likely just transpose back to something. This will just transpose back to some kind of mainline-like position where you're castled queenside, but your bishop's on e3, which is weird, you know. I mean, this is just not a standard setup for white. Probably not that bad. A5, A4, A3. Is this something? This is an idea that I've been using quite a bit in the main lines. I mean, I kind of think that it's appropriate here anyway. I mean, it could easily transpose. It's risky, though, to leave my king in the center. But I feel like castling kingside is a free attack. And castling queenside, those positions are sort of hard for black to play actively. So as a Sicilian player, I'm comfortable leaving my king in the center for long periods of time. That's, I guess, why I'm drawn to playing a5 in these type of lines. And I don't think that white's position is that easy to handle this. Also, there may be bishop b4, which is an idea in the main line. So we are going to get back to the stream here and see what's up. This is not as good for white. Or be a GM to beat me. It's so hard to beat me on position. Yeah, you have to be a GM and you have to do other cool stuff. Well, I'm going to take this out. And the knight on e5 is very strong. So I'm going to trade. We have an equal game. Now, I guess this is, again, feeling more Sicilian-like, but I guess I haven't played c5, so I really ought to trade queens. When you have less space, it's recommended to trade queens. If I had to win for $1 million, I might opt not to do that. But in order to win for $1 million, I'm probably going to have to take some risks. We've got a couple of moves here. Knight g4. I'd like to get his dark squared bishop. Knight d5. It's just that knight d5 he has one move, but it's pretty good. I mean, it seems like knight d5, bishop d4, and I don't know exactly where to go from there. I feel like it's difficult to move forward. On the other hand, I really have to do something. Not that many options. We castle queenside. If I castle queenside, there's also weird moves like bishop b4, just trying to induce him to soften up his structure. May be useful, like bishop d4, bishop b4, c3, bishop back to e7. But then at the end of the day, you've got to ask yourself, do ancient aliens really exist? No, all right, I'm going to stop saying that. It's an old joke. I'm not going to do it anymore, I promise. But at the end of the day, you've got to ask yourself a question. Is it useful to force him to play c3 or not? That's what I was trying to get to. Unfortunately, c5 would be good, but he has bishop b5 check annihilating me. So maybe castles queenside, maybe bishop e7, or maybe bishop b4, just massaging him. You know, actually, I just realized I have knight takes a2 check. Oh my gosh. But that's stupid, isn't it? Wait, what am I talking about? Here again, knight b4. Wow, that's kind of... I don't know what I was thinking. My first assumption was like he had to play c3, which is absurd, because c2 is protected. So he could just play a3, and a3 is a problem. Alright, so knight b4 is not impressive. We have other moves. I was talking about bishop b4. Now I understand why. I'm losing my mind. Okay, guys, sorry. It's been a while. I'm a little bit lacking focus. Bishop b4 just massaging. Massaging the white position. I got bishop b4 confused with knight b4. They're both interesting, but it helps to develop your pieces. So this is actually getting the bishop out while massaging his squares a little bit. Trying to get him to weaken himself with like c3, bring it back to e7. And the reality of the situation is that it's probably close to equal. But there's some kind of weird lines, like c3, bishop e7, bishop d3, chop chop, c5, bishop e3, and then, you know, I can take it and probably be slightly better. I mean, it's possible that his pawn on e5 is overextended, and that pawn could be a liability in the endgame. So c3, bishop e7, that was the plan. I don't have c5 again. I mean, I have it, but I would have to play like bishop b5 check king f8, really kind of messing up my entire position. So I don't particularly want to do that. So guys, I just really try to focus on analysis and really instructive commentary. No entertaining bullet chess you will find here. We try to play quality chess and learn something and teach you guys to think the right way about the game. Focus on the fundamentals and have some fun while we're doing it. And my wonderful sense of humor, maybe not quite fine-tuned today. You actually open, what? I accidentally opened with Sicilian. Hardcore positional chess. Move 11 says c5, king d8, bishop back. Is that so bad? I was like concerned something more immediate would happen, move 11. We'll have to take a look after the game. So he did what, f3. That's smart because he gives the bishop retreat squares. Okay. So we are getting a little low on time here, and I don't seem to have any concrete threats. I guess we'll castle long. I don't really have a better idea. For lack of a better plan, I'm going to castle long here. We could borrow a page from Move 11's book and put our king on c7. Probably not a bad idea, giving us access to like knight b6 or just keeping things off of b6. But we had the proverbial question, and white has more space. Is that an advantage or a weakness? Now I have like take. Take, knight f4. Rook d2, and then like c5, but I'm putting all my pawns on the wrong color. His knight is going to become a full-time resident of e4 in the near future if I don't find something good. I have in between moves, c5, bishop takes g6. I'm not in love with that. Okay. There's a couple different ways to play this, but I'm getting very low on time. This feels a little artificial. Again, my main concern is a knight on e4 that could become very strong. But there are other things here, other issues. Do I deserve to really be better here? I don't know. Do I deserve to be equal? I have less space. It's starting to kind of piss me off. c5, putting my pawns on the wrong color. We have that. We have c5, knight d3 check, and c4. Meanwhile, he has knight e4 coming. My instinct here is that black is okay, but I don't really know if I'm any more than okay. I have knight g6 now, trying to win a pawn. Well, actually I have rook takes d2, but my knight gets trapped or not. I guess we'll go with this. It's not really trapped because I have the h4 pawn under surveillance. Not fully trapped, it's just semi-trapped. Takes. This feels very materialistic. Who is it, the first person that said a pawn is a pawn, right? Knight h4. Usually it's the h pawn that falls in the Caro-Kann. This is another pawn hanging on f3. PQLLED, he's been very fast, but he's now facing some technical problems. The pawns seem kind of weak. Maybe it's more important to bring my rook to the open file here than anything else. I just realized, I mean, king centralization is one thing, but my rook is out of the game. Plus I have the threat of rook d3, which he immediately just dealt with. basically up a pawn. However, our knight is in an interesting situation on h4. We can always bring it back to f5 at the cost of allowing doubled pawns. Played c4. I didn't want my pawn to get fixed. Now I'm a little bit concerned about other stuff. Knight f5. I was about to lose on time, so I just want to be careful here to at least hold. This move may have been a little hasty, but he was threatening f5, which I didn't like too much. Seems like he has some compensation. But ultimately, it's going to be hard to win this. This extra pawn may not be enough. Got a couple pawns on the wrong color. And my extra pawn is doubled. So my instinct here is this is probably not enough to win. But not impossible. I surprised myself with that move. Not my... Wow. Bishop d4. I did not count on that. Craziness going on here now. He took and undoubled my pawns. I think that's too dangerous for white. Now he's kind of qualitatively down a pawn again. Not to say this is easy, but we are literally up a pawn. It's not doubled anymore. Really long, tough game. I know I missed a lot of stuff. But PQLED, he's been putting pressure on me on the clock the whole game. Like, the entire game I've been behind. It's good that the bishop can perform multiple functions. Very useful piece. I don't know if this is a draw or a win. I shouldn't lose, hopefully. I'm threatening something very devastating here. Creation of multiple connected passed pawns. Always blockade. This H-pawn is looking pretty dangerous. I don't think he can take that. Rook takes f3, h3. He resigned. He lost on time. He's actually close to holding on here because of the power of this pawn. You know, I'm not that sure. Let's see. Rook takes f3. I was going to play h3. Rook takes h3, rook takes f4. I guess this is a win. It's a little bit technical. All right. Weird opening, guys. Let me catch up what's happening in the stream here, guys. Morales, welcome. Move 11. You heard Steinitz was Austrian, but a lot of people claim he was American. No, he moved to America later, right? I mean, wait. Did he move? He did move to America at the end of his life or something like that? That must have been what it was. Like, he died, you know, in the last years. He did, like, simuls and stuff, I guess, you know. But he was... Raymond Carver, what's up, man? Thanks for the bits donation. We have any other donations I missed, guys? Why don't I see my bits donations? That's really weird. For some reason, I must not be able to get to the top of the chat there. What is going on? I am not seeing my bits donations. Whoa, that's weird. Okay, anyway, Raymond, thank you for the donation, man. Good to see you. Glad you're back. Actually, Raymond Carver making 2 donations. 25 bits. He's killing it. Lots of tough games. Lots of tough games, guys. My first stream back. We're going to do a simul on Sunday. Time to be announced as soon as possible. Let me just quickly look at the opening here. I wanted to see computer analysis of this opening. I do have opening book open right there. All right, this is a really rare move. Guys, if we look here, he played, wow, I've never seen bishop e3. TN, I mean, it's actually not that bad of a move. I mean, there can't be anything wrong with bishop e3. It's kind of hard to believe that move has never been played. It's even unbelievable, actually. This move, I mean, just for the sake of playing something that no one's ever played before, I'm surprised some grandmaster hasn't played it on that basis alone. It's not a terrible move, you know. That's shocking that no one's actually played that. Amazing. Apparently I made one blunder in the game. Was my g5 a blunder? In the endgame, I made some technical mistake, but I wouldn't call that a blunder. A blunder is like 2 question marks, no? Did I miss? Oh, I did make a blunder. It says f4 was a blunder. Well, it was a blunder like it spoiled my advantage. Oh, I missed rook takes c3 check. We were a little low on time, and I wasn't looking for tactics. That's a cool line. I win a piece, check and take the rook on e1, and then get back to b4 in time to stop the passed pawn. So you could call it a blunder. Okay, Wubba-dubba-lub-dub, I don't think you're a subscriber. Correct me if I'm wrong, guys. Clash Kid is next up. Just if you guys are subscribers and I don't realize it, please just let somebody know. Soltigo is here. He's our moderator. He can absolutely assist. All right, Clash Kid, tough player. I like to play Sicilian against Clash Kid. We've had a couple of these. Actually, the last game was a really tough one where I swindled him. I swindled him in another accelerated dragon classical variation. It was in our simul last Sunday. So I like to play the accelerated dragon. It's one of the main repertoire openings that I play. Earlier, Tushar Kamde was asking me who my teacher was. I never had a real teacher, but Grandmaster Jinjiashvili did help me a lot with my openings at one point in my career. And the accelerated dragon is something that he influenced me to start to play. But I always played the Sicilian, basically since my inception. Just a matter of what variation. Bishop e2. So I think that now we can play d5, but it leads to a lot of simplification. That's the problem with d5. If I want to play for a win, you know, we ought to consider castling, but I think he's going to like launch an attack. Let's just play d5. He's wasted a tempo on bishop e2, so bishop e5 is no longer a real correct move, or not a very, very correct move after wasting a move, basically. If he were to castle, he can't castle, I don't know. If he were to play queen d2, let's say, instead of bishop e2, and then I would have played d5, I mean, it's possible that bishop b5 in one go would be quite strong. So, what is up, guys? Asterbait. Missing a tactic is a blunder. I agree. Move 11, thanks for the donation. For some reason, I closed my little window that shows the overall weekly stream donations, or else there's some other reason for it, but I can't see. I don't have access to see the weekly stream donations, which is usually highlighted at the top of the stream. It's something I think I did to mess it up. We're a little bit awkward today because this is my first stream back in a weird new place. From the sidelines, I saw it immediately. See, that's the problem. It's like a backseat driver. They're always telling you, "Hey, turn there. You forgot to turn." Okay, knight takes d5. I've also played knight b4 in such situations. Worthy of consideration. I mean, knight takes d5 is kind of standard, but alright. This is very drawish if he trades a lot of pieces. You know, knight takes d5, knight takes c6, b takes c6, knight takes d5, b takes d5, or rather c takes d5, bishop b5 check. The stuff like that is kind of awkward. I might have to take with the queen on d5 in some lines because of that. I have a nice tactic here, though. If he tries to win a pawn, he gets fried. Or not. No, maybe not. I have to take with the queen on d5. Clash Kid actually likes to play a lot of endgames. He seems to be quite talented for endgame positions. I don't know how he could consider really anything but knight takes d5 here. I mean, I haven't castled, so... The problem is c takes d, bishop b5 check, bishop d7, queen takes d5. So Houston, we have a problem. I have to take with the queen, or else move my king to f8. Moving my king to f8 maybe would be okay. It could still be okay. Bishop b5 check, king f8, Tony Miles style. But it's not really optimal. Okay, there's bishop b6, bishop c6 hitting my rook. And then play becomes very double-edged. But he's hanging on b2. Maybe I will try this. Rather than let my pawn structure get decimated. If he chooses to play bishop e5 check, bishop d7, I don't think I have enough compensation. But I can, however, play bishop e5 check, king f8. And then we try to just kind of manage artificially. b2 will be hanging. It's a bit dubious. This is a bit dubious. I never had this happen before. I usually don't try to play d5 so early. I can't believe it's bad, though. Unfortunately, my a8 rook hangs. If bishop d7, queen takes d5, queen a5 check. Wait a second. He's got to play c3. Wow. There's some crazy variation here. He has bishop d2 there. No, that's the problem. Bishop d7, queen takes d5, queen a5 check, bishop d2. I'm out of proverbial luck. So we have to move the king. I mean, I knew this going in. I wasn't happy about it, but maybe we can get away with this. We have a strong pawn on d5. I can artificially castle with f6, king f7 maybe. f6, king f7. The lesser of the evils in the long term. I mean, I don't think I'd want to be here in a tournament game, but in a stream game and a fast time control, it's probably not so bad. I was looking at those stupid lines like bishop c6, queen, bishop d7, queen d5, or rather bishop d7, queen d5, queen a5 check. I was hoping for like c3, bishop takes c3 check or something. But even that probably doesn't work. Yeah, that's just a fantasy. I had to play king f8 and go into this, if I'm going to play this position at all. And I think it's kind of dubious. Yeah, a lot of stuff hanging. Queen a5 check c3. I was looking at bishop takes c3 check. c3 castles. I'm hanging a piece on d7, right? So that can't be good. Anyway, guys, thanks for tuning in and watching. We'll do a simul tomorrow night. Clash Kid has played bishop c6. So, I mean, I'm not averse to sacrificing material. You know, here I can play bishop a6. That's some crazy stuff right there. Like trying to sack the exchange for the initiative. There's also bishop takes b2. But I'm not thinking that's so good. My plan was to play rook b8, and I don't think there's anything wrong with it. I mean, a7 is indirectly protected. I'm threatening the b2 pawn. I can defend e5 with any number of moves. I mean, maybe bishop c6 is actually, like, not his best move. I guess I can play bishop b7 next, if I really want to be on the safe side. Let's say castles. I mean, do you want to go grabbing pawns with your king all messed up on f8, or do you want to consolidate your position? It's a good question. Okay, like he's trying to lure me into playing e5, I guess. I don't know. I mean, I don't really have any interest in that, to be honest. But he's defending this. Bishop d4, an interesting move. Is there any sort of tactic? I mean, e5. Bishop c5 check. And I'm just like losing a pawn. So he just defended his pawn. It's interesting. Well, I guess I have any number of moves, but let's say bishop e6. Castles kingside. Now queen a5 check. c3. There's some crazy stuff going on now. Queen a5 checks c3, queen a6, bishop takes d5. That's unconvincing. And I'm running out of time. You know the saying, like, two can play at that game. If I play bishop a6, he plays like bishop takes d5. No. Bishop takes g7, king takes g7. Alright, man. Do your worst. If you can't castle, I can't castle. Let's both not castle. I'm fairly sure that both sides have already made some mistake. In my side, almost certainly. But he could have castled last move and avoided this controversy. This is just a pawn sacrifice by me, but I mean, like, probably a sound long-term pawn sacrifice. If White can't castle, I mean, he's never gonna be able to argue that that I don't have compensation for this pawn. I mean, bishop takes g7 solves a lot of my problems too. I mean, my king has gone to where it wanted to go. So in a way, he's helping me by playing bishop takes g7. The whole concept of bishop d4 and bishop takes g7 is like, hey, I want to help you out with your king on f8. You know, let's get that to a good position. Maybe he made a mistake. We shall see. We should take a moment to analyze this game afterwards, because I think this was pretty weird, and I'd like to actually know. I usually look at the games when we're done. Oftentimes, if I have time, I analyze most of my games, but sometimes there is no time to do so. Mubot needs some tuning. What happened? What did he do? Mubot timed out Vegatron for 15 seconds. Excessive use of symbols. That's normal. Oh, that's Soltigo saying that. Excessive use of symbols. He loves to do that. Vegatron's variation. He put too many. Yeah, we need to like make an exception for chess symbols. That's a good point. Okay, what's this about now? Queen d2. What tricky business is this? He's going to try to castle on the other side. What? With the rook on b8? That's illegal. Wow. All right. Well, he has the idea of playing castles queenside. Quite straightforward. If I play bishop takes d4, I do have some issues. I feel like I'm definitely missing something here tactically. We're about to run out of time. So the thread is castling long. All right, let's not panic. I'm panicking. I'm definitely panicking here. Now it looks like white is definitely better. I've sacrificed a pawn. Do I have any real compensation? Couldn't find anything better on short notice. This has got to be crazy. But his bishop's sort of semi-trapped. Extremely strong play by white. Like, perfect. Man, it's so fast and precise. Damn. He just has compensation. I mean, I don't have any compensation. I'm saying he has compensation. I don't have any compensation for this pawn down. Not the first time in recent memory. Not the first time in recent memory Clash Kid has put us under some serious pressure. Extremely strong consolidation. What? I'm just losing. Looks like I'm just losing here. Pawn down in an ending. No compensation. But now we might have enough play that we have serious threats. Okay, that's pretty big swindle. Not the first time we swindled Clash Kid lately. Anyway, really good game by White until the end, when he had very little time, but he was winning, and this is an easily winning endgame before. But I'm just curious if this has actually ever been played before. D5. My instinct was that this was sound. I might have even looked at it once. It was played by a young David Smurden in 2001. So, okay, he takes D, knight takes D5. It's also possible to play knight B4, as I was talking about. You know, that's interesting. But knight takes D5, Alyakin versus Botvinnik. There wasn't a game, a classical dragon with a knight B4. What does he got here? Knight takes C6, B takes C6. What did I miss? So I actually did the right thing. Like C takes D5, bishop E5 check, king F8, bishop C6. This is all best moves according to the engine. And basically I played correctly. And then this is the moment where he played bishop D4 and I just froze like a deer in the headlights. Wow. And then my next move was best too, bishop A6. And the computer says that I'm better here. Wow. I was down to almost no time when he played queen D2 and thinking that I'm in trouble. So here, I had played perfectly until this point, and I need to find some super subtle move. Queen D6 I looked at, but I was unconvinced. To be honest, I didn't like queen D6, bishop takes D5. I mean, that's the line the computer wants to play. Like, I have to be a computer here. Bishop takes D5, E6. I couldn't see this. I could not see this variation. So, I played this lame move now. Bishop takes D4, queen takes D4. And then F6 is a tragic blunder. Queen A5 check. C3. And then I ran out of ideas, but that's hard to play rook G8. And when the engine is claiming that black is better. Wow. Okay, guys, on to the next game. Anyway, a swindle there. What do we got for the next subscriber? Well played, guys. F6 was bad. Yeah, queen A5 check, as Tushar said. Turkey Farm actually suggested queen D6. I looked at queen D6, but I saw this line with bishop takes D5, and I really... Yeah, I didn't see king G8. I mean, my rook is really... It's really bad, though. Yeah, good game, man. I mean, for the blitz game, it was well played by both sides to an extent. Okay, Wubba GM Blood. You guys, let me know if you're subscribers. Do we have any other subscribers? I got Clash Kid, and then we've got Soltigo. Please double check if there's anybody who's a subscriber that I don't know about. We're taking the subscriber challenges first. Move 11 is up. Wubba I don't think he's a subscriber, and GM Blood I'm not sure about. I've got Soltigo, Acerbate, Chestosterone. Oral Mar, if you're listening, please challenge me to something between like 5 plus 3 and 7 plus 3. Because the 10 plus 2, it's actually too long. Okay, guys, my streams are usually 2.5 hours. So I'm starting at 1 p.m. today. In reality, it is 2:22. So we're going to stream for a little over an hour more. An hour and 15 minutes longer. Okay, move 11 played E4. We haven't had a game in a while with move 11. So I'm glad. It's a 5 plus 4. 5 plus 4 versus 7 plus 3. I don't know which is better. I know that move 11 also likes to play the accelerated dragon, so I wanted to kind of test him. to see what he would do with white. I have to bust out my new mouse. I got a new mouse. I know that Testosterone is a sub, but I wasn't sure about the other guys. Okay, so move 11 is following my game from the Spring Festival, where I lost to Gergely Antal, but he played e5, and Antal played knight c3. So e5, knight c6. Now white has several moves. Just don't play queen h4. A lot of people, that's like the most common pawn drop. It's actually a, you could almost call it a gambit. White gets a little bit of compensation, but knight takes e5, knight takes e5, queen a5, check, and I pick up the knight. This is the main line, like queen a4. And now I've looked at everything. In a very old game, in a blitz game years ago against Aronian, I played knight b4, and that was the recommended line. But Levon beat me in blitz. Probably black's okay in that line, but I was looking at other stuff recently. Now I have to remember what we decided here. I think knight b6. I think I decided on playing knight b6 here. But it's tricky because there's also queen b3. And I don't know, I get confused as to which one I like better. So, knight b6. Yeah, maybe against queen e4 I should have played knight c7. Actually. Well, first of all, let's just develop our pieces. I have to sacrifice a pawn or something. Temporarily. Maybe bishop f4, d5, pawn takes pawn, and then like castles. I looked at this a while ago, but I've kind of forgotten. I guess back in the day, 20 years ago, say, like, I had a book by John Donaldson and Jeremy Silman on the Accelerated Dragon called Accelerated Dragons. Very original title. And Silman and Donaldson, when they went over this line, although not in great detail, I think they recommended pretty much exclusively. They pretty much exclusively said to play like knight c7. But the truth is not so clear. And actually, even e6 is a line for black. So I think we have to play this now, or it's too late if I wait one more move. It's now or never for d5. Temporary pawn sacrifice. And then I'm trying to remember. I think I'm supposed to castle. I mean, bishop f5 probably can't hurt. There have been a few other games played in this line. I'm just thinking I'm going to forget some. I've already forgotten something. Move 11 remembers this better than me. I think the move is queen e3 or queen e2. The only legal places to go without losing your queen. I guess it's also possible to take on e7. There was a game, I don't know, I remember analyzing. There was Perelstein was black against like Mark Esserman or something. I'm not sure like which queen retreat. I think Esserman played queen e2 and the queen ended up on b5. That's an interesting idea. The queen kind of comes back here, can defend a little bit. It's a very, very strange line. Maybe Derndatch knows something about this. Was Derndatch here? Wasn't he here earlier? What's his new name? Derndatch, what's your new name? Oh no, my pants. What's up with Derndatch? I thought he was here. He's gone? Wasn't he here in the beginning? I must be having hallucinations. I guess that was, I lost those chats because I had to re-log into Twitch and I lost some of the early chat commentary. All right, now here I was actually thinking like queen c8, but that seems sort of weird. Basically, I forgot my analysis. I I mean, queen d7 is possible. But you can't go very long without recapturing that pawn. So what am I thinking here? Knight takes e7. Then he's going to take on... Well, then he could take on b7. That looks kind of crazy, though. I don't remember this happening in my analysis. This is looking weird. This is not really supposed to happen, I don't think. I did something wrong. Alright, well, I'm just going to try to be practical here. We got some, like, pressure down the C file. And tricks and such. Things like knight to b4, maybe, in some lines. But I can't go very long without capturing. I'm going to have to take back on e7. And then it depends on where his queen is. This looks a little weird for me. In fact, I may just be in trouble here. I've completely forgotten the analysis. Bad to do. Bad thing to do. I don't think this is the way it was supposed to go. Something wrong with my move order. I guess I have to not play... Maybe I should have played d5 the first move. It wouldn't really change everything, though. I would be able to castle one move earlier. d5, e takes d, bishop g7. Still, that's weird. I don't know, I forgot something. Because this doesn't look familiar to me. I am in a different place. I'd like to castle, but it's illegal. We can't really attack his queen. Taking on c2 is toothless. Knight b4 looks stupid. Taking on c3 doesn't do anything. I can take on e7, which I guess was my plan, but then he has bishop b5 check. We're going to be playing king f8 again. That's not good. Man, this looks kind of dubious. He's got knight b5 all over me with knight d6 check. And there's no a6, as you can imagine. So it looks like I forgot my analysis and now I'm screwed. Scrooged. I'm just Scrooged now. Man. This is bad news. Knight takes e7. Well, it looks horrible, but what else am I going to do? This just can't be okay for me. Bishop b5, I guess. I can play bishop b5, bishop d7. I'm only down a pawn with my king in the center of the board. Nothing major. No, I totally forgot. The problem with the lines is I get confused. Dernesh was here, but he's gone. Yeah, he plays the Accelerated Dragon too. He might remember this, but he plays it like exclusively, so it's easier when you play just one opening not to forget the theory. After bishop b5 check, what am I thinking? Bishop d7. I mean, I could play knight d7, but then knight d5 is like crushing, right? King f8, anyone? Not recommended. So it's pretty dubious. We're basically a pawn down with no compensation. And then I can't even get out of the pin. Are you serious? I can't even get out of the pin. I don't know what I was thinking here. I'm like absolutely out of my mind. This is like literally the only way I don't lose instantly. But it loses instantly. Pretty much instantly too. Yeah. Move 11 getting really fancy. don't know why you just didn't recapture on c3. This might give me chances to survive. If move 11 plays queen takes c3, I guess I just resign. I mean, that's what it looks like. I got very, very confused. The queen b3 and the queen e4 lines make me confused. I don't know. I like knight c7. I'm going to stick with that. Yeah, basically, he lost his mind and ended up dropping a piece. Still, it looks kind of awkward. I'm not at all sure that bishop b4 is the best move, but I have 12 seconds left, and it saves the piece temporarily. So, worst case scenario, you know, we give the piece back. He has certain threats. Yeah, I just lost my mind. My turn to lose my mind. I was about to flag and just panicked, and now I'm down a piece again. Yeah, this is disaster. I'm just losing again. What a poorly played last 10 moves by both of us. That's what happens when you when you don't leave yourself with enough time to play the rest of the game. Man, I am dead. Dead now. Just down 2 pawns for nothing. From lost to winning to lost in a period of 5 moves. And it's only move 24. He's not messing around. He's not messing around with those queenside pawns. Man, he saw right through it. I had a nasty trick there. I was expecting queen g5, but that loses to knight h3 check. Yeah, I mean, is it possible I'm like winning there at the end? I'm actually winning after queen g4. But it was terrible. Like, both of us really blundered in the last 10 moves. But this is apparently okay. This is theory. And then I forgot the theory. Bishop f5, queen e3. Yeah, okay, so I simply didn't even think about this. Queen d7 is a move, but queen c8 is not a move. But I'm supposed to play bishop takes c3 check. That's pretty obvious. For some reason, this didn't even enter my mind. I don't know that I ever actually looked at this. Like bishop takes c3 check, b takes c, and then what? Bishop takes e4. We go into this ending. Yeah, I don't remember this, looking at this. But this should be okay. Like a little bit worse for black. A little bit worse for black, but defensible. Not a lot of fun, though. Yeah, I think if I have to play this again, I'm gonna opt for playing knight c7. I mean, knight c7 is probably the main line. Knight b4 is the main line. I'm not that convinced about it. Like I said, I've checked it with the computer. The computer likes knight b6, though. It's very difficult to choose. Knight c3, bishop g7. Okay, d5 is more common. I'm not sure what difference it makes. After e takes d, bishop f5 first. This makes a difference, though, because if he goes to e3, he blocks his bishop. Now there's other lines. They're scoring very well for white, though. Anyway, guys, a lot of work to do here in this line. I'm going to go on to the next game, Soltigo, and then and then Asterbate and Testosterone. And whoever's left after those guys, we'll try to get a game or two with the non-subscribers. I'm just very, very lucky there, not to lose. It's the sound of Move 11 kicking himself. Their Dutch was here. He did... Man, where's my stream? Where's my game? Alright, Soltigo playing G3. He's taking a move out of my book. A page out of my book. So G3, let's have some fun. It's not Weird Wednesday, guys. Usually, you know, I do the Wednesday stream where I play unusual openings. But just for some fun, we'll play F5. Now, White doesn't have to play D4. And I think that that's one of the problems with playing the Dutch against the English or against Knight F3. Because I played F5, you don't necessarily have to transpose to a Dutch. You can play other stuff based on C4 or D3. But now we're transposing to straight up Dutch. It's a really rare opening for me, and I've never played the Dutch. As far as I can remember, I've never played the Dutch in a tournament game. There may have been some like really low rated player I played the Dutch against in like a club tournament, but for some reason I cannot recall that. I think I literally like never played the Dutch. I always wanted to. Move 11 is a good sport. I'm sure he doesn't care. He's not results oriented. He remembered the line better than me. So here we are, kind of mainline. I want to say Accelerated Dragon, but the mainline Leningrad Dutch. I know that I've played this position with White a lot. Not recently, but in the past. This is my many, many games I played with the white pieces. There are many lines here. The main line is probably D5. Move 11, I'm going to say move 11. Soltigo played Queen C2. I know that's a variation with the plan of playing, obviously, E4. So now it's time to see if I can remember things I looked at a million years ago. 94, you can't justify it. Knight A6 or Queen E8. Maybe H6, E4, pawn takes pawn, like Bishop F5. That looks dubious. You see, here it would be good to know a little bit of theory. It really would. Knight H5, maybe we go full on. JC. This is in honor of JC. All right. Kind of coffee house. The Knight H5, but it's a fast time control. So from your... Here I'm in New England. In honor of New England, I'll play Knight H5. But I doubt this is like a mainline continuation. Still, there are certain arguments for H6, G5, you know, really caveman style. Queen C2, not a common move, but it's book. It's probably one of like the top 4 moves for white. Other than Queen C2, B3 and D5 are like the main lines. There's also Rook E1. And then probably then comes something like Queen C2 or Rook B1. But again, I'm more familiar with white. I think that I wouldn't recommend playing the Dutch to players like under 1700. I really think that it's just too hard. JCS. Now, John Curto, he's a legendary master here in New England, and he's getting up there. I don't know if he even plays anymore, but he was one of the best. Splashar, got you a host, bro. Thank you, man. John Curto was one of the best local players here in New England, where I'm at right now, for a period of like 40 years. He's a FIDE master who was IM strength, but he never left the local region, so he never got the IM title. But a player who was like 2,500 USCF, and He played the Dutch religiously. And John liked to do things like checkmate people with knight h5 and f4. I mean, that's the whole point here. We just kind of seal it off. There's this side of the board, and then there's this side of the board. We seal it off. We do a very caveman-like attack on the king side. I'm sure that this isn't a one-way street, but it's dangerous. Black can get a very dangerous attack here. And I was talking about this with someone else recently. I mean, the Leningrad Dutch and the King's Indian are, or rather the Dutch and the King's Indian, but the Leningrad Dutch and the King's Indian are like closely related openings. Very closely related. I mean, I played the King's Indian all my life, and it's basically like when you play the Leningrad Dutch, you're playing a King's Indian where your F pawn jumped over your knight, and that's fine. I mean, I can adapt. For me, the bigger problem in the Dutch is facing like various sidelines. I mean, we're pretty well developed here. Our heavy pieces are connected on the back row. I would be thinking that White's position is a little harder to play, but maybe he's okay here. Knight g5 is outside the box type of move. I actually was concerned about e5 for White. Knight g5 may turn out to be a very strong move. But what should I do? I mean, we just go here. Is this crazy? Just like I'm all in, There's no half measures here. Black is just all in. I mean, Soltigo is a tricky guy and he's a good attacker, but probably he's not as strong, in like spotting and defending against threats from the other player. I'm kind of a specialist in defending usually. Here it looks like he's letting down his guard against f2 in pursuit of happiness and the American dream. But we do have pressure. I finally fixed the lag in my stream. I'm like streaming from a different place. I wouldn't be afraid of the Staunton Gambit. I'm afraid of the anti-Dutch lines with bishop g5 and knights, mostly the bishop g5 and crazy stuff like h4. Soltigo played g takes f4. Okay. Well, that wasn't what I expected. It looks like we have a really strong attack along the f line. I think it's like mandatory. Flowing attack for Black against f2. We have a lot of people in the house. Just very caveman style. That's the way. Lots of possibilities here. I mean, even e5 is interesting. e5? You can't be serious about e5. That's a real move. That's like almost perverse. Like I'm literally going to like try to annihilate him with just the pieces. These 5 pieces in your face. But obviously it's important that his knight on g5 is in serious violation of airspace policy here. Queen takes g5. Ooh, is he holding on here? Man, this has to be at least decent for me, no? But he's got this annoying defense. H takes g, queen takes g4. f3? Can that possibly work? Well, I mean, I'm better in all lines, but big but. Knight h4 check, and then nastiness. That's h3 for you guys. From the perspective of reality, that's an h3 square. I'm still not concretely putting him away. We have an awfully promising position, though. Just don't have to do anything fancy, I guess. Queen g3. Man, this is like... Is that move too awkward or slow? Should I have played something more direct? Did I miss something really crushing like knight to b4? Knight b4 would be next. Knight b4, look, you have no squares. You have no squares on the second rank for your queen to defend against the crushing mate. I can go knight b4, but this looks really bad. I mean, this guy's... Hello. Welcome to my king side. Okay, he's still surviving momentarily. Very ugly situation for white. Where is the put away? Knight b4. Of course, this is extremely awkward for white, but I still don't see an annihilating move. Oh, his rook was hanging with check. I completely missed it. That's so embarrassing. And he also blundered. You have to play queen d2. I mean, this is the only move. That's really embarrassing. So, multiple blunders. No excuse. Go back to bed, Soltigo. Alright. We should play the Dutch more often. I'm curious about... That's embarrassing, though, not to see queen takes e1 check. Too obvious, too easy. Has this ever been played, though? Queen c2, knight h5. I'm curious. We got some serious lag going on. Knight h5 is ranked... It's ranked number 5, but it has a very good score for black. Based on just 10 games. I certainly wouldn't call that an adequate sample size. Let's see who played knight h5. What kind of potzers think like me. Hikaru Nakamura, what a beginner. Dmitry Reinderman, another absolute novice. Stefano Tatai back in 1979, and Viktor Gavrikov. It's really a list of really basic players there. Alright, but knight h5, it was fun. Alright, next game, we will try to keep the flow going. I've got really bad lag, guys, again. Someone said you corrected the lag in my stream. It's not about lag. I think I had, like, you didn't like the frames per second, but I've got a really bad wave of lag now at the moment. Let's just pause for a minute for station identification while I, H3 means resignation. Knight H3. So, back to bed at 3 p.m. I'm just teasing you, because usually it's like you're watching when you're like in the middle of the night. You know, now we're in the same time zone, and I've got really bad lag. I'm just gonna let it try to clear up for a second before I start the next game. But my internet here, you know, not as good as the Hungarian internet, sadly. Okay, Acerbate, Chess Testosterone, and then we'll try to get a game or two with some of the other guys who are non-subscribers. But it's still not bad. Not bad to play the Dutch, you know, for the first time in you know, a long time. Acerbate has learned, and he is learning, he's improving. Alright, let's give him a little bit of hypermodernism with G6. I do sometimes really play G6, unlike the Dutch defense. I recommended to Acerbate to study kind of classical stuff, and so now I'm testing him in the other extreme to see if we can see how he's doing in really classical chess, really hypermodern chess rather. C5 here, okay, whatever. We'll transpose to a Sicilian. He's not biting. He's not playing. This is a really good line for white, I think. C3 in this position. Yeah. And I don't know what to do now. Knight f6, e5, knight h5. I actually looked at, I think. That's a good variation, Acerbate. Excellent choice. I'm trying to remember it. Knight f6, e5, knight h5, and then I don't know. That doesn't look really safe for black. I'm gonna stick with the safe move. It's not a lot of fun though. White's slightly better here. I had a game with the brother of Vida Levente, Albert Vida Albert, and he played like d4, c takes d4, knight takes d4, which sort of surprised me. But it's not so bad. Probably play that way with white. But this is too passive, Acerbate. I mean, it's a move, it's playable, but you need to take the initiative, and the plan is to play d4. This is a little bit too quiet, I think. Ping time's crazy. We have to get our service checked here. Oh, Saul, you like my location? I'm going to abort games if you play f5. This is too sharp to Saltigo. Magnus plays it, so it can't be so bad. But Magnus plays the Dutch. Yeah, that's kind of a weird choice for Magnus. But he plays the Stonewall, which is much different than Leningrad. It's a totally different game. Actually, an interesting point was brought up to me that I never really thought about by Grandmaster Nicola Sadlak. He made the point to me that the Dutch, he likes to play the Stonewall Dutch because it actually is a good way of avoiding exchanges of pieces against lower-rated players. He felt that by playing the black side of the Stonewall Dutch, he could avoid having a lot of draws by more or less playing the Stonewall Dutch as a winning weapon, in that it's difficult for white to trade pieces. It's a very blocked, kind of long game, but you got to work really hard. Okay, the way he's playing this, it's like white is black. He's basically playing a kind of defensive setup that you would see against the English opening. It's like I'm playing the English and Acerbate is playing the black side of the English, which follows very naturally. I don't think that white's position is bad. He's also playing, like you could say, in the style of Gioco Pianissimo, except of course I've played c5, not e5. While generally I don't think it's good universally, this setup that he played is okay. You know, bishop c4 against g6 in particular, and another situation where the bishop c4 I think is good is like after e4, c5, knight f3, d6, bishop c4, against players who try to play the Najdorf in particular. All right, so white seems to be delaying his castling. Should I consider playing bishop a6 here? Or just something classical like d5? I think that there's a lot of room for personal interpretation in this type of line. But I think that this square looks a little suspicious too. Now if he plays e takes d, it's always difficult to decide which way to recapture. To be perfectly honest, I don't really like playing this type of setup that much. But black should be fully equal here, at least. But it's big mistake to play d3. I mean, d3 is really passive. He has d4, c takes d4, c takes d4, d5, e takes d5, and in that symmetrical position, white is just slightly better. All right, queen e2. Reasonable move. And now, I mean, my bishop could go to either a6 or b7, depending on the situation. It looks like Acerbate is like consciously trying to not commit himself to castling. Queen e2 is a good move because, I mean, it kind of increases pressure along the file. That's a file, right? All right, I'm going to stop playing like I'm afraid to castle, because if he goes, I don't know, let's call it Steinitz, early Steinitz here. There was a famous game between like Steinitz and Chigorin, but it wasn't Sicilian. It was an e4, e5 game where Steinitz went postal with like h4 and didn't castle. Basically what Acerbate's doing, but against e4, e5. And Chigorin got annihilated on the king side. I mean, anytime one side castles and the other side doesn't castle, there's an opportunity to do something outside the box and try to really up the ante and create a lot of like imbalance by attacking like a maniac with something like h4. Acerbate, I was afraid he would do that, but he didn't. He calmed down the position by simply playing castles. So now I think that we have I would argue that this is actually a very sort of standard position in a way now. My setup is really standard. His setup looks like something you would play, like, again, in an e4, e5 opening. I'm just waiting, making a useful move, not committing myself to like where I'm going to put this necessarily. I mean, bishop a6 looks interesting. Now he's played an excellent move here, rook e1. I mean, he's basically got the idea to play e5. I can't just wait forever. I'm going to commit myself to something. Maybe a mental institution. I'm not sure yet. But bishop a6... Okay. I can arguably say, that's his first mistake of the game. Because now I can take on e4. I mean, I feel like that creates a definite target on d3. And that's going to be a problem. So instead of playing knight d2, it seems like he has to play e5. And that is a complicated position now. But after this, I think there's this pawn on d3, which is a real liability. It's not the end of the world, but I don't think that he needs to give me that. But I sense a definite improvement in Acerbate's play over the last few games. Giant 10-year-old. Is that the way I look? What's up, man? Camel culture. Homeboys. All right. Bronies. Sparkle bronies. Bishop takes c4. This was his best move, probably, bishop c4. Yeah. But the thing is, this is going to be a problem, you know. No, I'm going to go to the other diagonal. Now you have to worry about that. And then I can hit you with knight a5 at any moment when I see fit. There will be drawbacks to that, though. If I play knight a5, it'll like lessen my control over the e5 square. There it is. Nice move. Now you have to move again. That's okay. We've still got nasty diagonal stuff. Nasty diagonal stuff. And I am a little bit concerned, though, about this control that Acerbate is exercising here over e5. I mean, that's pretty thematic and impressive. It's not that easy for me. I think I can play knight d5 here. It's kind of an impulsive move, though. I don't have a concrete plan. My problem is knight a5, knight e5, and that concerns me. My queen is starting to run out of squares around here. The queen is running out of squares, man, seriously. And I'm running out of time, man. He's taking me out on the clock. I don't like that there's some weaknesses around my king side, you know. He can kind of probe for weaknesses. Bishop g5. Although bishop g5 would drive him away from his control of e5. I'm going to give him a take back here. You can't give takebacks? Yeah, I can give. You're not allowed to hang a piece. He spaced on this move. Alright, I'll give him 20 seconds to accept my take back. This is his last chance. No more takebacks. Only one take back per stream. But it was a good game, and I don't want to spoil it by him dropping this bishop on f4. I think the position is interesting, and white is not necessarily worse here. So I don't want to see him just drop a piece. Too good a game for that. What did he do? No, I already... well, I mean, I don't count that game with move 11 as winning the game. I mean... That's really like ridiculous. I was down 2 pawns in an ending. I mean, that was nothing more than a swindle. Kind of jockeying for a position here. Knight f4. I moved my queen like 7 times so far. I could have played knight a5 last move, but he just goes back to a2. I don't like that. We've got threats of knight f4. I think that rook d7, rook d8 would be optimal. But he has play too. How about like rook d1 and then tuck your bishop back on c1 if necessary? Is this a problem? Knight f4. The $1,000,000 question. Maybe. Because after knight f4, if he plays something like queen... He has queen e3. Then we can have a lot of fun together. Alright, let's go for it. Not a lot of time left. How do I look when I sit back like this? Do I look weird? This is my first time using this location, and I'm not really sold on it. I like the Wiki Tiki room better, which I used last year and the year before that. Alright, where's my stream? Okay, so here I was calculating knight takes g2. And that's not a bad move, right? The magic of tactics. Roman Gigiash really did that against me. It was a game in like 1989. 1989 or 1988. You won't find it in the database. It was a rapid game. It was like a side event at a big tournament, and Roman just roasted me with this knight takes g2 sacrifice. You know, it's usual to get a knight takes f2 sacrifice or a, knight takes h2 sacrifice, but a knight takes g... There's something special about knight takes g2 because it doesn't happen that often, It's a special sacrifice, and it always brings back memories of that, but I don't think he can do anything here. Bishop f4 is too late. Too late. So he probably had to hack it off. It's actually the best move, bishop f4. But he has to take it when I go knight f4, I guess. The moral of the story. And after that, it's just really, really unpleasant for white, because I have the bishops on the long diagonals, and I'm just going to sit on this position all day with zero risk. But anyways, the most important thing, like this opening, man, this is a good line for white, by the way. And you'll see here, look, The move I'm interested in, though, the move I'm interested in a little bit is knight f6. You notice that there's a game here, which I forgot about. I don't remember this game against Farago Shandor. Knight g4. d4. C takes d4. Why do I not remember this game? This was an IM tournament. And I don't know what I was thinking in this game. Okay, d6. I'll be darned if I remember this. Did I really play this? There's something suspicious about this game. I think this is a forged game. I don't think this isn't really my game. Somebody else must have played this game. This was an IM tournament, and yeah. All right. I think I might have even won that tournament. All right, but we had a draw with Shani Farago there. Anyway, guys, back to the games. We played all the subscribers know Chestosterone. We lost some guys. Chestosterone we'll probably play this game and one more. That game must have been like a quick draw or something. I wouldn't seriously play that in a serious game. Is it just me, or do you guys also get in every second blitz game a position that you would rather play out over the board? All right. I'm pretty sure that game with Shani Farago was just a game where we didn't have anything to play for, and I was willing to give him a draw with black. I played a couple of IM tournaments around that period in 2007. I guess I was getting paid to play, but I vaguely remember that tournament. I had another game where I really tried to beat Farago, but it was a draw where I was white. It was a Pirtz defense. Probably the same tournament. I would maybe give him a draw with black and then like try to beat him with white. Typically. Okay, let's play something we actually know. Alright. Last time I tried to play g3, but I like to play that against the Pirtz, but this is the modern and it's slightly different. And I don't really know exactly how g3 works when you're playing it against g6 immediately, you know. I tried it in a game a couple weeks ago, and I don't remember. It could have been against Chestosterone. It could have been against someone else, but I just don't remember, and I don't really know what I'm doing there. I know what I'm doing in the classical Pirtz, kind of. The problem here isn't that I don't know what I'm doing. The problem is I just don't think it's that good. You know, the problem with the classical Pirtz is that it's just hard for white to get an advantage. C6 is an old move, and this is actually the exact position I had against Shandor Farago in that same exact IM tournament I was just talking about. It's very ironic that you played this. So rook e1. And then Shani did something like old school. He tried to play for e5. There are some mistakes black can make here. You need to know the theory, but I think that objectively, e4 and d4 and knight c3, knight f3, the classical variation just isn't very dangerous. Another idea that black can try is something like playing for a6 and b5, or even just b6 and bishop b7, which I played sometimes, a more modern approach. This is like old school, except I have e5 here. I think I've been here before. Isn't this just good for white? I'm sure that we had this game on the stream. Pretty sure. Guys, we're going to play like one more game after this. The prickly pear. Pearts. Fort bush. What is a fort bush? From what? Anyway, guys, I think tomorrow I have to check the schedule. Tomorrow is... Not tomorrow, Sunday. I have to check my schedule. The stream... We should really do the simul stream at a time when people can play, you know, from both US and Europe. I mean, we could do around this time. What do you guys think? Let's get some input from you guys. Can we do like a... Actually, I was going to do it in the evening, but then the European players, it's like too late, you know? So, Tigu, can we do like a vote on the stream for a simul time? Either, like the options would be, say, like 1 o'clock, like this, or let's say 3 o'clock for the start time for a simul. Fat President, good question. So 1 p.m. Eastern or 3 p.m. Eastern? What would you guys prefer for a simul time? Fat President, yeah, whatever happened to that guy? I think White maintains like a very small advantage here. I probably followed this from some book analysis somewhere. He takes, I have to take back with a knight, because taking back with the pawn allows him to play like knight c7, knight e6 when I'm thinking that I might be... Maybe I have nothing anyway. I feel like I have something here. Maybe this is lame. I don't know. Maybe this is too lame. It's a good question. I mean, if I play pawn takes e5, he has various blockading stratagems like knight c7, knight e6, but maybe it's not good enough to equalize. I think in a vacuum, it's more correct to take back with the pawn, not to trade pieces for me, because I'm always teaching people this, but you just don't want to trade pieces when you have more space. So d takes e, knight c7, and then something like... I don't know what next. That's the question. I think we'll find some games. We might actually find some games in the database that go this far. Is it going to be one time for the whole week? Soltigo, I don't think so. I think we can mix it up. I'm going to make up my mind separately about Sunday, and I think we can have different times. I kind of like the idea of having 2 different times to appeal to different people, you know, to give everybody a chance to be able to watch at different times. I think last year, didn't I do different times when I was over here? Or was here? Guys, I have time for one more game, maybe 2. I mean, I'm pretty flex. I can probably stretch out the stream a little bit since we haven't been streaming for a while. Knight takes e5, knight b6. That's a really ballsy move. I mean, you've got no space and you're avoiding exchanges of pieces. Now it looks like an Alyakhin's defense. Alyakhin. Where's Nefedov? Alyakhin. Alright, queen d2. I'd like queen d2. There really aren't a lot of options. I mean, I need to get my rook in the game, and I have bishop h6 and other fun stuff. So, Alyakhin's defense. But I'd like to get a vote. Last time I was 10 a.m. and 4 p.m. Is that right? Okay, that makes some sense. I mean, the 4 p.m. is a little late, though, for things like a simul, I'm thinking. But, I mean, we'll probably have to rechange the streams my life is going to change a little bit in like the next, after like another month or so. So we will reserve the right to change the times. But last time I was 10 a.m. and 4 p.m. I think you're right. I'd like to go with either. I'm a little busy in the morning at the moment, so would safely assume the earlier the better for those on the other side of the sea, right? 4 p.m. that's no good for me. Really hard for Tushar. People like very far away to the other side. The dark side of the universe. Rook on A to D1, developing pieces. So I think I'd like to do 1 p.m. or 3 p.m. this Sunday for the simul, and then going forward. If it's like a blitz stream, like it would be okay, you know, but the simuls can get kind of long. I feel like 6 is a little late. 4, I mean. But it may be necessary later on going down the line. F6, very weakening move. But he's got ideas here. I don't like when they have ideas. Knight d3, and the problem is I'm gonna lose my d4 pawn. For reals? Alright, then. If that's the case, then I must go back. I mean, unless you want to go knight g4. Which is really not necessary. The damage has been done. The proverbial damage. But it's still not that easy for white. The problem is he's coming into c4. He's harassing my queen. If I put my knight on d3, it's even worse. This is like a very standard classical Peartz motif. Like bringing the queen back to c1. Circa 1978. Never play f6. Well, I mean, I actually liked bishop e6 there. You're to shop ATM, but most days, anytime is good for me. You can stream simuls on 4 p.m. I hardly watch those. Well, if you hardly watch them, then. Alright. The point is that you would play, really. Like, you can watch anytime, but playing is the really important thing. Especially with the simuls. So, I mean, the knight on c4, we can kick him out. It'd be good to wait for his move, though. A funny thing happened in the baseball game yesterday. I was watching the Boston Red Sox play the Baltimore Orioles. And in the middle of one of the later innings, a really funny thing happened. The manager of the Orioles, like, was angry because his team was losing horribly. And so one of the pitchers allowed a home run. It was like, well, in the middle of the game or something. And the tradition is that the manager comes out after, you know, the home run and like takes the pitcher out of the game, goes out on the field. But the funny part was that the manager, he like is supposed to wait until like the guy runs around the bases and goes, you know, scores. The manager like came out in the middle of the guy running around the bases, like it would be the equivalent of like a football manager like walking out on the field like while play was going on. It was really it was really funny. I just thought it was kind of similar to my like just about to make a move without even like waiting for testosterone to make a move. All right, let's just do something here. You know, we ought to pay attention to what's happening, in other words. I wanted to play bishop h6, but I'm beginning to wonder whether I should even do that, you know. Now that he's killed his own bishop with f6, there's an argument that bishop h6 isn't even good or necessary. He's got a huge time advantage. I've been talking about baseball. But never in my life watching baseball. I had never ever saw someone like a manager walk on the field while the play was going on, you know. That was like really strange. All right, h3. Now he goes back to e6. It's not as good now because he doesn't have that square. It's still not that bad though. All right, I'm running out of ideas. I'm gonna do this. We have a slight structural advantage. I want to keep it simple because testosterone like is just constantly putting me in time pressure. He's fairly solid. It's not that easy. I mean, visually white looks better because of the e-file, but his time advantage... I'm just really interested in knowing if you guys would prefer 1 o'clock or 3 o'clock on Sunday for the simul time. If we could actually get like a, you know, a Mubot vote on that. I'm not going to take any more games beyond what you guys have out there. 5+3, 5+5, 5+3. We could maybe play those games. All right, I've been getting too low on time here. I think this move is a mistake. But my advantage is small. You know, I need to play very patiently. I think he should just take it and simplify everything. And then he's actually improved his structure in a way. But it looks like testosterone, you know, he's kind of playing for time, trying to play fast. Could have played g4 there alternatively. Might even be better. Though that would weaken my king side. I'm not sure about a4. I'm just really low on time. I mean, I don't think that a4 is a horrible move. It's probably not the best, though. This is a little bit weakening my position, too. He's so solid now. I don't really think I have any advantage here. Oh well, it's just degenerating into bullet chess or blitz. If you like. Call it what you will. Okay, I have no idea what's happening now. Whoa. Okay, we're all just playing bullet. What's testosterone's bullet rating? I mean, he's really got the time thing going on. He's like 1500 in blitz, but he's 1700 bullet. How can you be higher in blitz? And I mean, I thought bullet's harder, you know, in a way. I could have played knight to d4 there. I'm not better here, I don't think. We could be. Could be now. I think now we're better. Okay, man, like really good game. Really good game. I don't deserve to win that game, and that's not the first game I didn't deserve to win today. I'm going to play the last 3 games here, guys, just to kind of give you guys a little bonus, because I haven't been playing and I haven't been streaming for a few days. So we'll grind these out, and then we'll come back for the simul on Sunday. What do you guys think? Z Nation Chess. Good game, man. All right, we are back. I still don't have an answer about which time. I'll just pick a time. If you guys don't tell me, I'm gonna pick a time on Sunday to do the simul. It really doesn't matter to me. 1 o'clock or 3 o'clock, which would be Eastern Daylight Time. This is for Sunday simul. I think we'll do like a 40-40 this week. Not as long, not the long simul of 60-40. That won't be every week. But, you know, not the fast simul either. I have enough time to play a 40-40 simul. Usually lasts about 3.5 hours. Come now. This is a really well-known line. Once I lost to Boris Kryman, he played knight on BD2 against me. Then when I tried to play that against Joseph Horvath, I lost with white, so I like to lose with either side. This is a bad move, I think, H3. Because it loses quite a bit of time. The queen gets drawn out to F3, and it's not really very useful out there. And you're drawn away from protecting your D4 pawn, which becomes a liability. So there are many other moves there. Clash Kid with a donation of 2,000 bits. I didn't even like catch it. I'm so thankful. Man, that's crazy awesome. Thank you for the donation of 2,000 bits, Clash Kid. I did not even see it, man. When did you make that bits donation? There it is. I didn't even say anything. Thank you so much. We had another bits donation earlier from Raymond Carver of 100 and Rai Mitun with 10. So thank you guys. Yeah, let's vote on 1 p.m. or 3 p.m. for the simul on Sunday, and that's USA Eastern Daylight Time. I'm talking. I want to get the piled up pressure on D4. Clash Kid, thanks again for the donation. Really generous donation. 2,000 bits. That's awesome, man. Thank you for coming back to the stream, hanging out with us. Added one. Muba added 1 or more votes to the poll. So we're going to vote on this simul time, 1 p.m. or 3 p.m. on Sunday. Okay, bishop e5. It doesn't drop a piece because on queen a5 check I have to face knight c3. So we're just looking at queen b6 maybe. But I like developing my pieces most of all. Now this is a standard idea, but I'm still not going to be able to do anything when he takes on c6. I still remember the rapid game that I lost to Horvath Yoji. It was like bishop takes c6, b takes c6, and then he somehow executed c5. The idea is for black to put as much pressure as it can on d4. But it's hard to say like exactly the best way to do so. Queen b6. More pressure. There's also pressure on this pawn. You know, f6 is a possible idea too. It's very risky because it would weaken my e6. The base of my pawn chain at e6 would be weak. But it would create a lot of play along the f-file, like in some lines of the French defense. I've got challenges remaining, guys. I'm not going to take this last challenge from Victor. Anyway, it's the wrong time control. I'm going to play with our subscriber here, Marwa, and another regular HGGG. So I'm going to take those challenges, and then we're going to end the stream after that. Can we get a vote on that? To vote, guys, vote. Use vote 1 p.m. or vote 3 p.m. Just vote. My next challenge is rated. Uh-oh. Which one? This one? Somebody must have challenged. Oh, Victor. No, but Victor, we don't have time for more games. That's why I'm declining your challenge. We're already over. I'm supposed to finish the stream now, so you're just a little bit late, my friend. Next time I'd be happy to play. Just show up a little bit earlier. Our stream will be posted. The times will be posted. I had to move very suddenly to the United States. But just because I had help my mom and nothing, I'm not running away from what would I be running from? I don't know. Crazy chess players in Europe trying to get me. No, I just had to come back here early. So queen takes c6 or b takes c6. This is the $1 million question. If I play b takes c, I end up with a bad structure. Alright, we're going to keep the clean structure here. I still have f6 in my back pocket in some lines. Although, as I said, it's really double-edged to do that. He doesn't have any discoveries. Alright, I'm going for it. Last words. I mean, his only discovery is 92. It might be a good discovery. I mean, who knows? Now for the next question. Should I take with the rook or take with the bishop? I mean, rook takes has an interesting kind of use that I can play like rook takes and then double very quickly. If I take with the bishop, I have immediate pressure on d4. Maybe rook takes. Now, naturally, he's concerned about things, certain things. There's knight to b5 with counterplay. Okay, this is a tough position. I mean, I don't really think I'm better, but I don't really think I'm worse. It seems legitimately close to equal. But this is kind of an annoyance, this knight on b5. I'm not super happy about that. Not super happy about that. Rook f7. Now he does have a discovery with knight e4, which I forgot about. Probably not life-threatening. Basic idea is just to open up my bishop against d4. On knight b5, I was planning like either queen b6 or queen a6. Probably queen b6. Keeping an eye on everything. Keeping c7 protected. The rook also protects c7. I can always exchange on e3. If what's he going to do, though? Is he going to play g4? I mean, I don't think he can play g4. I mean, that move is over the top. Now knight a4 looks like his idea. Kind of a problem, knight a4. It's not silly. I need to be able to deal with that. I guess it's not an emergency. If knight a4, knight a4, knight a4, queen e8, I don't know. Whatever, I'll go somewhere. Queen d6. Yeah, it doesn't do anything. It doesn't really do anything. Let's stay central. Everything's protected. And we've got a unified force. I still don't have any really big threats, though. We go for this. Wow, you like insta-moved. Insta-move. We finally got something. What do I got? A message from somebody? Somebody sent me a message on Skype. Bam. There is no answer to that. It's Jim Morrison. The end, my friend. This is the end. At least the end of a pawn, anyway. Probably additional things. What could he have done to stop it? Is the million-dollar question. I don't know. That is the current position, but I don't see how you protect the e3 pawn here. He could have taken with the queen on e3. You guys are just voting it up, man. Stop voting so much. We got only 3 votes. If you want to vote for the simultime for Sunday, it's either 1 p.m. or 3 p.m. Eastern. And if you're in Europe, you probably would prefer it to be the 1 p.m. Unless you're a late night kind of guy. All right, now, where's the annihilating move here? Wait, queen takes e3 check. That's really funny. That's kind of ironic, no? It's ironic that like queen takes e3 wins. Just when you thought it was safe to come out of the water. Alright guys, what I got 2 games left with Morwa and HGG. This one's not over yet. I'm gonna be like Buck Showalter and walk out to the mound before the guy has like run from third base to home. Something I'd never seen before. Alright, Morwa, what is up, man? Okay, we're gonna go with well, let's try an English opening. So what do we got for votes? 2 votes 1 p.m., 1 vote 3 p.m. Guys, we will modify the time. All right, Morwa, is he still with us? Where is Morwa? The Isle of Dr. Moreau. Personally, for me, wouldn't interfere with dinner time when I'd start cooking at 4. Exactly. But wait, if I have a 3 p.m. Oh. But if I have a 3 p.m., yeah, your opinion, the 1 p.m. would be best. This is during peak hours on lichess. All right, let's go. Last 2 games, guys. Morwa, HG. What are you cooking? Some lobsters up there, man? Send me some lobsters. You probably got cheaper lobsters. Personally, for me, it won't interfere with dinner time. All right, we'll figure out what the vote is a little later. All gifts of lobsters will be accepted. Oh, good. Morwa allowed me to play this. I love this opening. This was always my favorite variation in English, but I rarely get a chance to play it. The Flor Mikinis. Korchnoi specialty. Speciality of Victor the Terrible. Black's 2 main variations here are c5 and d5, and they're both completely different. Both very interesting. Occasionally you'll see weird moves like e5. And now we could play f4, which is like a reversed Vacher-Lagrave. Variation I invented 30 years ago, which is actually it's actually been played. What else is possible here? Yeah, we're going to play what I know anyway. Kasparov played this. Kasparov, Gary. Kasparov. Knight f3. And here black actually has at least 2 moves, although mostly knight c6 is played. d6 is also possible. I haven't played this in ages. It's a really well-known pawn sacrifice. I think I played it against Csaba Chazar 20 years ago, and I don't remember what even happened. Okay, bishop c5. That's a very unusual move. The variation is supposed to be knight takes e5, and then white has both bishop f4 and knight b5 compensation. But here Marwah went with bishop c5. This is different. Okay, I'm just making sure there's no insane move like knight e4 that annihilates black. That could end up being a problem for him, though. Can we do this? Man. Can we do this? Anyway, knight b5? I think I'm going too far. I think I fell into some sort of trap here. Not really, though. I mean, he can't do queen h4. I just played g3. That's amazing. He actually has no squares for his queen. Look at that. Queen h4, g3. Look, Ma, no squares. You literally have nowhere to go. You can't go to h3, h5, h6, g4, f4, any single square. You'd have to go back. And now it's like self-mate. Man, I want to play knight e4. This is just too weird. But I'm not developing my pieces with this move. That's the thing. I mean, if he tries to win a pawn, he's going to have serious developmental issues. Marwah plays the French, so maybe he feels like this is kind of close to a French. He would be right. Okay, so queen d2, let's say he tries something crazy like queen e5. Queen a5. I mean, that just can't be right. Please. Okay, I looked at queen a5, rook c1, and I said white has to be better here. But I've been known to be wrong. It's a really strange position. But if you look at lines like queen a5, rook c1, a6, knight d6, he still can't take on e5 because he'll like drop his knight on b4. He's going for this. I mean, it's kind of like a one-trick pony, you know. I mean, you got this knight c2 check, but that's it. And the bind is still in place. I mean, he can't really mobilize the rest of his pieces very easily. Then again, mine is kind of backwards too. But I think this looks good for me. Now, a3. I mean, this has to be better for white. We just have to bind on the d6 square. His knights are off sides. I mean, there's no way that black is okay here. Knight on a6 is bad. The knight on a5 is bad too. He has one idea to play like, I guess, b6. But sometimes I have b4 as well. I don't know. Marwah is pretty fast. I'm not sure where I should put my bishop on d3 or maybe e2, but I actually started to have hallucinations. The stream has been almost 3 hours. I started to hallucinate that he could play knight b3, knight d4, but that's slightly controlled by a knight, so life is not so easy. All right, we go in, I guess. Now we have threats. Obviously, like knight c5, b4. I'm threatening bishop f3. So it seems like a lot of problems for black to have to deal with. It's hard to believe that he's fully okay here. I'm going to just play castles. I could even try to keep my king in the center in some situations. Okay, now maybe even rook d1. I mean, this saves the tempo. But actually, this looks really good. Stay on the guy, on the knight, and then here. I mean, this should win a pawn. An important pawn, because that pawn is like actually going to kick my knight out next move. Maybe I had better. I had bishop d1 sometimes. Guys, we have time for one last game. I'm going to play with HGG. HGGG. If he's still here. Okay, we're voting, so let us know, okay, what we're going to do for 3 or 1. The chess death cult followed. Bishop a6 out and about in my face. If I castle, he has knight d2, which is really aggravating. So I should go here. And then there's no aggravations anymore with this knight coming in to be a friendly visitor. Your friendly neighborhood knight is going to d4, I guess. We'll have b4 at the very least whenever we need it. We have a queenside majority now, which is handy. And we do need to consider developing, though. I mean, I think the castling like kind of makes sense fundamentally. You got to admit that developing and getting your king out of danger are important things. Then I can play rook e1, like b4, slowly start to wriggle free of his counterplay. I mean, b4 is really strong at any moment. My knight a7 is not in any danger of getting trapped. Let's just play b4. I had this before. I mean, is this some sort of weird mistake that I did this? There's some really weird variations like knight b7, b5. Whoa. Looks like I'm like losing a pawn here. It's kind of insane. Wasn't well thought out by me. Man, I can't believe it. What if I do this? Absolutely melted down. I totally messed this up. That is horrible. It is so horrible to mess this up. Anybody know what's going on here? I certainly don't. I've messed this up. I can't believe it. He was playing like rook a8 there. Oh my god. My rook is attacked. I lost the last time against more wild. Looks like I'm going to lose again. From a position of strength, too. Maybe it's not that easy. I'm down a pawn. It's got to be more intense because I'm just getting kind of tired. He sacked an exchange. Wow. Oh, that could hurt. That's actually a really bad blunder by black. But I think this is lost for him. I don't know why he played that. His knight is trapped. If he takes. Alright, Marwa, tough fight. We were a little bit lucky there. You hung in there really well. Good defense. Last game against HGG. I have a perfect score for today, but I don't deserve it. I mean, I've been lost in like 2 or 3 different games. Alright, what are we going to do here? Let's just play knight f6. I like to play the hedgehog, but I can't do that now. Looks like after knight c3, white threatens e4. I'll just have to play my King's Indian style. He played e4. That's fine. This is King's Indian. That's fine by me. I haven't been playing the King's Indian as much as like Nimzo lately. H3 is a good line. Let's try something a little bit I don't normally do here. We're going to play like c5 and b5 and turn it into kind of Benko. I saw Jay Bonin do this once. It's kind of a lazy way of dealing with h3 without having to go in all these crazy closed King's Indian type of lines. It just forces a Benko of sorts. It's actually probably a pretty good Benko. I mean, he has to take that pawn. I mean, this is mandatory. There's no reason for HGG not to take the pawn. And now I think that I have an easy game to play. Fairly easy game to play. I mean, black should be okay here. It's not great. It's like a declined Benko. But more or less should be okay. And I hope I didn't make a mistake here. Not really sure what I'm doing now. Knight b6, could that have been bad? Could have been bad. Could have been a mistake. My setup does feel a little passive. This is really artificial. So bishop b5. I mean, white is slightly better. I mean, this seems kind of... I'm trying to steal an idea from my old friend Alexander Wojtkiewicz, but this was a little bit weird for black. HGG surprised me here. I didn't know he was such an authority on this. Normally he's not. Doesn't seem like a theoretical player. Actually, he played that weird move bishop c4. This should have been good for me, but I still didn't come up with anything. Bishop d3. I mean, pushing doesn't seem good. It seems like I have to take. And then I thought I should have a good game, but I'm not convinced by this. I guess here I need to think a little bit longer to come up with something better. Maybe bishop a6, just trading a set of pieces, would be a good way for black to play. Oh, he's thinking for a long time. And a4 is a standard idea in this type of situation. That's a strong move. So, well, I don't see knight c4 working, so I pretty much have to take. It's my last game for today, guys. HGG playing this really well. I play similar positions in Decline Benko, and this is almost like a direct transposition to that. This is just better for white now. A5, I thought I'm getting smart here. It's possible he can overextend himself. But I really like the way he's played this. I thought the BD3 was a mistake. He should really normally take, but maybe this is good. Expert and kid. David Vigorito is an expert in the King's Indian defense. Well, I mean, David is an expert in a lot of different things, but I wouldn't necessarily, call him a King's Indian expert. He's an expert in a little bit of everything. Yeah, e5 looks strong. I think it's still strong. It's probably still strong. All right. He's just an expert in openings in general. So queen d2. Well, we're going to a7, right? I mean, that's the whole point. Let's think about this here. Get the queen to a safer square so it won't get hit by e5. Knight takes e5. Though this move is a little bit slow. HGG is a tough player. I mean, sometimes he plays some big mistakes and blunders, but he can also play really, really well. He's not consistent. You don't really know what you're gonna get. He's got a good position against me in a correspondence game in chess 960. I misplayed the opening. That game may not be healthy. All right. We're out of here, trying to go to a7. That was the plan. I mean, with knight c8 and everything. Bishop a6 is not a problem. h6 is not a problem. Knight b5. If knight b5, keep him busy. And we play, black technically has a better structure. But of course this e5 thing, is always happening in some lines. I like the snake structure. That's the main advantage of playing the Benko half the time. I mean, you just have a very low maintenance pawn structure, and oftentimes it's like impossible to break it. Let's play rook b8. Uh-oh, maybe I'm too late. Was I too late? I should have taken on c3. On the other hand, okay, let's see. Yep. That's like a Muppet show. Those monster guys on the Muppet Show, the old Muppet shows. There were aliens that said that. Yep. This is exactly what just happened here. It was one of those moments. A Muppet Show moment. So, let's see. I have a crazy idea here. I'm probably out of my mind. But let's go for it. I mean, it's a blitz game. You only live once, etc., etc. But white is a bit overextended, so this might be sound. The snake structure stays intact. I give away like this guy, but I'm going to get one back. I hope. Maybe not. We better act fast. This offer Cannot be found in regular stores. Act fast for your chance to play knight b6. Knight b6 right away. Okay. This might be the first game I don't win today. I mean, queen d4 is hanging with check. Man. This is a really good game by white. Now I'm basically down a pawn with no compensation. So we just have to drop a pawn with no compensation, and we're going to try to hold. That's all we can do. Just lucky to be alive. His A pawn's kind of pushed up, and his B pawn is backward to some extent, but really tough ending to hold with black here. I mean, not easy. On the other hand, hard for white to win, you know? I think that the drawing chances are existent. We're going to blockade. Maybe I can even triple on the B pawn in some lines. I mean, white needs really, really good technique to win this. I was just looking at a Reshevsky queen ending the other day. Just like this kind of position, but a little difference. No rooks on the board. The pawn's like isolated. No, some queen endings where you're down a clear pawn are hard to make progress. I mean, this could get into one of those types of situations. Say the rooks were traded. I mean, this is not an easy ending to win. Because there's like this liability, this pawn. You know, right now, I mean, white is making no progress. There's the snake structure again. I mean, I could just keep that snake structure protected very easily with king f8. And white's still not making progress. In the meantime, his b4 pawn is about to go. But he found this sneaky move. Okay. So. Take rook c8. And he's got all sorts of tactics to back this up. Wow. Okay, I have to play rook a8, I guess. To seed the c file. Man, HGG is like... He's a genius. Okay, rook a8, though, might hold on. It's still not easy. Looks a bit awkward. Awkward. Good drawing chances here. Plus he's very short of time. I've been lucky thus far today. His king's pretty far from the action. And I'm threatening rook b8. I guess we go into this, I don't know. I mean, I still feel like I have drawing chances because I don't know why. Whew. I mean, he has to play rook takes c6. A6. This is very close to winning with all these pawns on board. But he dropped the pawn back here. Rook takes a5, rook c8 check. Now it's really like white's even a tiny, tiny bit worse. Because he's kind of overextended. But it's probably a draw. So we've been very, very fortunate today. I mean, you guys, a bunch of you guys had winning or almost winning positions, and I kind of swindled everyone. This is an itty bit better because we have no weaknesses. If he defends accurately, it's a draw, I guess. Just a few good moves. Wait, I have f5. That's a really good move. Oh, man. f5 is really awkward for white. Still, it's probably hard for me to win, but there are chances. Because he's got multiple weaknesses like the g2 pawn. The g2 pawn is really bad here. Multitude weaknesses. White has to hold this really carefully. You take on g2. We have time, you know. I have a hard time making a decision here. Had a hard time. Is this a draw? Black is a tiny bit better. There's 3 Isolanis. I mean, it's going to be hard not to drop one of those pawns. And then it's going to be a tough ending, right? Wait a minute, what about the king and pawn ending? I just take? I just take and play king e5. Isn't that winning? But I'm not sure. Let's make sure. Like f takes, king g5, king e4, king there. Is there any sort of trick here? Yeah, it's winning. What about not trading rooks, obviously? So the engine thinks it's a draw. You can play h4. Multiple moves. Yeah, it's a draw. Okay. But it's still black is slightly better. I mean, I'm surprised it calls a dead draw, but... Well, today was our lucky day, guys. We had a bunch of lost positions. We managed to win them. I don't know. We need some help from you guys. Anyway. Time to close down the stream for today. What's we got for the voting? Voting closed poll results. 1 p.m., 62%. 3 p.m., 25% invalid vote, 12%. All right, guys. So we'll do 1 p.m. It's settled. We'll play the same time on Sunday as we did the stream, 1 p.m. Mule Skinner, I got to go. Mule Skinner, man, where did you come from? Mule Skinner, really? Came in late. All right, I'll play him. One last game of Mule Skinner. He is a subscriber. No more subscribers, no more anybody. I'm going to play this last game. We're out of here, guys. Salty goes like, what? Another game? Bonus game. Mule Skinner, I was just closing the stream and you challenged me, man. This is for Clash Kid. He made a great donation to the stream. He made a great 2,000-bit donation to the stream. Thanks a lot for that, Clash Kid. We're going to play an exchange on c5. Akiva Rubinstein, one of my favorite players of all time. He actually used to like to play the Queen's Gambit with colors reversed. Queen's Gambit accepted. Now, knight c6 is this is a line like you would play when you were white. But I think when you're black, you're asking an awful lot here. So like a3 and try to hold on to the pawn. This is a reverse. Queen's Gambit accepted. That difference in the extra tempo, I think, really makes a big difference in this type of relatively sharp and imbalanced structure. We had one game long ago, like last year, in this type of game. Anyway, guys, last game. So we go b4. Holding on to our pawn, most importantly. I'm a well-known materialist. No, I don't really like to grab material. But I mean, I just know that this is recommended by the engine. I got another challenger. All right, the Leela bot is challenging me. No, Leela bot, I have to go. I'm sorry. And that goes for people too. I'm already like way over time. All right. Are you better than Magnus Carlsen? I'm not better than him, but I did play and beat his dad. That's close enough. If I beat your dad, I mean, you know, that's the same as being better than you. F5. Well, I'm equal against the Carlsons. Okay, let's put it that way. I'm equal against the family. I have 50% against the family. F5, like a crazy move. You Skinner, you realize you're black, right? Man, there's like no rest for the weary here. He's playing as if... How dare you play as if you're... Man, oh man. F5. Oh my god, how can you do that? Alright. F5 is a maniacal move. F5 for Friday. Leela challenged me. I would play it, but I'm too tired. You know, it's like I was supposed to finish the stream like 45 minutes ago. All right. I'm scared of Leela. No, I'm just exhausted. All right, guys. I'm still jet lagged, and for me, it's like basically 10 p.m. and I've been streaming for like 3.5 hours. So I'm out of here after this game. I just flew back to the United States the other day, and I have a 6-hour jet lag. Excuses, excuses. Let's pound the center with c4. That's got to be a good move. But Mule Skinner with a psycho f5. Man. That is some crazy stuff. You can't get much more aggressive than that. I mean, he's playing, even with white, I wouldn't dare to do that. Just put maximum pressure on the center and pray. That's what I say. I don't know this line. It's very likely that I should have like exchanged on c6 or something like that. But I'm just playing on intuition. And this is normally like this kind of exchange on c6 is very typical in reversed variations like this. 3 hours 12 minutes uptime. I exaggerated a little bit. This is a bonus game. F5 is some king crusher. Well, I mean, it would work against a player who wasn't very strong. I'm sure, like, defensively. You can definitely try it. Now, here I'm taking... How much compensation does he have? Not enough. I have a nasty tactic here. Doesn't work. Did I just miss something? C takes d5, knight takes f5. Ooh. Does that win a pawn? At what price pawn, right? Take this, like, rip my face off. I mean, this is really greedy. I think I can literally win a pawn with that move, but I mean, you're taking your life in your hands, right? Opening the F file. Is that sane? It's probably not the sanest thing to do. I have just a killing move, right? Queen b3. Does that win a piece? That's a great name for like a band, actually. Killing move. Great band name. Alright. No, that just wins a piece. Clean. Keep it clean. I didn't see it till like, I don't know, after I looked at the position for like 40 seconds. I was looking at knight takes d5, knight takes f5, or knight takes f5 trying to win. But as I said, I think Mule Skinner's approach, it's like pushing the envelope. You know, you're black in a position with colors reversed from a normal opening. Your options should be more limited than what they would be in the normal opening. I mean, where you're like playing with the tempo more. He played like really aggressively, even just knight c6 out of the gate. In the Queen's Gambit accepted reversed is really pushing it. So I think the safe recommended approach for black in like this type of line after d takes c5 is just to play knight f6 and or e6 and simply try to get your pawn back without, you know, taking any grave risks. But this looks like a clean piece. So we're going to wrap up the stream, guys, with this lucky win. And it's been kind of shaky, but we're getting back in practice. We got the vote done. We're going to play the same time on Sunday, 1 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time here, USA Eastern Daylight Time. It's going to be 1 p.m. Sunday simul for 25 players, 40. That's just an analysis variation, mid-game analysis. This is the final at the moment position. Just no way. There ain't no way. He can't even avoid the exchange of queens, can he? Oh, he can play queen c7, okay. Oh, man. I almost had discoveries here. No. Knight b5, okay, it doesn't hurt. I feel like I'm getting a little bit greedy. But what's he going to do? I mean, e5 is going to fall. He has to play queen b8 not to lose the knight, right? Which is worse? Lose the knight or get your queen trapped? No, he should play queen b8, knight takes e4. Maybe run away with the knight. Yeah. Okay, man. Sorry about that. That was kind of a ugly quick loss, but it's an instructive position. I mean, after d takes c5, if we look here at the opening explorer, you're going to see like very few people played knight c6 probably. Let's go there. So d takes c5, very few people, just 21 games with knight c6. Like e6 is almost universal. And look at the score. I mean, the statistics for 21 games aren't really sort of relevant, but I still think that's not an accident. White's score against knight c6 like 57%. It's not a great sample size, but it has some meaning, I think. So e6 or knight f6. Okay, guys, thanks for watching. Thanks, Soltigo, for being a moderator. And we got the vote done. We're going to do the simul stream. We're absolutely going to do the simul stream on, let's see, Sunday. That's right. So Sunday, and we decided on 1 p.m. 1 p.m. Eastern Time, Sunday simul. I'm out of here, guys. Thanks, Soltigo, once again. Thanks, everyone, for watching, for playing, subscribing, and we will be back on Sunday. Good games, guys. Thanks for the follows and the views. Don't forget to check out my videos on YouTube. We do upload the streams there. Video chess training on YouTube. Thanks again to Clash Kid and everyone who donated to the stream. I believe we had like 3 players donate bits to the stream, so thanks a lot for that, guys. You can also donate over on PayPal. I need all the support I can during these tough times to keep the stream going. Move 11, thanks for watching. Thanks for your support. And all you guys who subscribe, thanks a lot. I hope that I can help you and make you have a greater, you know, kind of love and appreciation. And if nothing else, just get better at chess. All right, guys, I will see you, Asterbait, everyone else, Mule Skinner. You'll sober up for the next game. All right, have another beer. I'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.